Welcome back to the kitchen. I'm Suze Montgomery. This is mangia, which means in Italian to eat. And as I explained before, mangia, you're going mangia, the way it looks like it's pronounced, it's not. It's mangia. It's Italian for eat. And my grandmother used to call us to the table by saying mangia, mangia, and all the time. And we knew what that meant. We all ran because her food was that good. So today we're not talking Italian. Today we're talking about another culture. This is probably, most cultures have something, a riff on this one. This is tabbouleh. And tabbouleh is found in Greek culture. It's found in Middle Eastern culture. Lebanese eat a lot of tabbouleh. I like different cuisines. I think everybody is, since the world has gotten smaller, we are exposed to more. And if you have a different ethnic restaurants or markets in your area, explore. Go in there and see what they have. I mean, widen your world. Learn more about other cultures, about their history, about geography, what they eat, how they live. It's one world. And I mean, the more you know about other people, the more you know about yourself. So today, when I made the tabbouleh, now this is kind of like a kitchen sink salad in my house. Doesn't necessarily mean it will be yours on this recipe, but in my house it is. So it asks, the original recipe did say use tomatoes. And I'm thinking to myself, so if we don't eat all of this, because this is a lot of food, well, what's a tomato going to look like in 3 days in your refrigerator? Kind of limp, right? We don't like limp anything, and we don't like limp food either. So what I did is I put in red and orange and yellow bell peppers instead. They hold their shape a lot better because they have less moisture or less water in them than a tomato would have, and they won't go, like slimy. And I owned a Mexican restaurant at one time, and we made our pico de gallo every hour of the day that we were open. Why? Because pico, after 3 hours in any kind of ambient heat, looks pretty limp. And it doesn't, flaccid. Again, we don't like flaccid food. So I would use the bell peppers. Also in here, I used 2 different kinds of onions. I used scallions, and I used red onions. And then you see the green in here. The green in here is parsley, Italian flat leaf parsley. Don't buy that curly stuff. That curly stuff tastes metallic. It's nasty. It's only good for garnish on a plate. This is Italian flat leaf parsley. It has a better taste to it, and it lasts longer in your refrigerator, and it doesn't get weird after about a week. So you can keep this wrapped in a parsley in a dry paper towel in a plastic bag, and it'll last about a week. Don't put in, some people recommend, and they say put it in a glass of water. I don't do that. It seems to wilt just as fast as if you didn't put it in anything but plastic. So wrap it in a paper towel to absorb the moisture. In the little round pellets you see here, this is couscous. It's durum semolina wheat. And so if you have any kind of problem with wheat allergies or wheat sensitivities, you probably could substitute this with something else that's not wheat. And I'm trying to think, maybe an orzo, like a rice orzo would work in this just as well. But the other thing I put in here, besides the fresh parsley, is the mint out of my yard. Now I grow a lot of our herbs. We have a huge herb garden. And the trouble with mint is you plant once, you have it the rest of your life, and so does your neighbors. Mint is invasive. It tunnels. It grows underground with root structure that just move constantly. So if you plant it, this season, you'll have more than enough for the whole neighborhood next season. And it tastes pretty good. It's refreshing. It goes really well with the other ingredient in here, which is fresh lemon juice. You take a lemon, and to squeeze it to get the optimum amount of juice out of it, you can put it in the microwave for only 5 seconds. What that does is separates the pith from the juice or the pulp of the lemon. Or you can take it and just roll it with your hand on a cutting board or a hard surface, and it does the same thing. So again, fresh lemon juice. You could use lime in here. Make this your own. It don't necessarily have to follow everything I did in this, Like I said, there was things in here that probably it also, oh, it called for cucumbers. I didn't use cucumbers. I had leftover zucchini, and frankly, it worked just as well. But if you're going to use a cucumber, only buy Persian cucumbers. You don't have to seed them or peel them. And when you cut them in half longitudinally like this, you don't have to scrape out all the seeds because they're so minuscule you don't see them, but you can if you want to by the other side of the spoon. Just scrape them right out and then cut them in small pieces. But this is zucchini. It was even easier than using the cucumber, and it has just as much flavor. And you know zucchini. I mean, you probably made zucchini bread. It tastes like what? Like whatever you put with it. It is one of those vegetables that has no definable taste. So if you're growing it this summer in your gardens, you'll probably have enough, more than enough for the neighbors and the mint too. Garlic, of course, we always put garlic in everything in this house. Garlic is a staple in this house. Be careful where you buy your garlic, by the way. Gilroy used to be the garlic capital of the world. No so anymore. Right now, garlic, the majority of garlic that is grown is coming from China. So if you're buying your garlic at the 99-cent store, you can bet it's pretty old. And you can tell by the weight. If you lift a head of garlic and it's light and you don't have any weight to it, that is very old garlic. It'll probably taste bitter. So buy garlic by the weight. So if it feels heavy, dig through the bin. Nobody's going to say anything to you. You know, they're going to approach you and say, don't dig in the garlic. I mean, come on. So you take the garlic by the weight of the garlic, and you can tell if it's fresh or not. And we'll do a whole class on garlic because garlic is something that we use tons of in our house. And I mean a lot of garlic. I just made an order through Amazon since I'm locked down here. I bought 5 pounds of garlic peel cloves. 5 pounds. I mean, that's the size of a preemie baby, but I'll find use for it. And probably won't give it away either because I use so much of it. And I'll teach you how to make garlic confit as well. So using this recipe, make it your own. You can do anything with it you want. Any kind of a vegetable. Just clean out the fridge. Throw it in here. It's simple and it's easy. And when you go to make this, it's a pot of boiling water. Throw in the box and let it sit there and cool off. You don't boil it. You don't have to cook it. It cooks itself. So the ambient heat from the boiling water that you've turned off the flame on your stove, let it sit there, fluff it up in a big bowl, throw the rest of the ingredients in there. You've got tabbouleh. Manja!